Everybody, Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Saturday night. It's another Saturday night live. We get quite used to these. Hope you're safe and well. Hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. I thought, you know what? I'm sat here. Mrs. Budden's gone to bed, and I was going to start doing the. I was going to pre-record the. What's it called? Player ratings. Pre-record the player ratings. And thought, do you know what? I ain't going to bother. I'm going to do it live. And see if everyone else wants to come on and have a chat and talk about the game yesterday, because, I thought we'd do a pre-record, because by the time Monday comes around, it's going to be a bit old hat, innit? Bit old hat. And obviously now we come into the international break as well. So I thought, let's give ourselves a little bit of a rest. Give us a bit of a respite. Now, obviously, we're not even top now. What's the point in life now? Moyes out. Not even top. Barely in the Champions League spots. Unbelievable. Who we've got to chat? Good morning, George. Good morning, George. Hope you're well. Good afternoon. Good evening, George. Sorry. Intox. Hope you're well. Hope you're intoxicated with your Saturday night. Cyril, hope you're well. Jay's in the house indeed. Frano's here. Ian's here. Stato's here doing a Saturday night late. Well, it's a Saturday night live show. Saturday night live. You've got the late show on a Friday. We tend to do a Saturday night live, and sometimes it works. Can I have a link to the Europa comment? Just seen your reaction and want to see it. So if you want to do it, go into what's on my eye? Go into the West Ham Network YouTube channel, and then go to the live section, and it'll be there. Be there somewhere. Kent's getting in there early with this. Hey, Kent. Turks, hope good evening to you. Jabba, hope you are well as well. Yeah, I mean, the dust has settled a little bit from the week, from yesterday. I mean, myself and Irish Tommy jumped on afterwards, and obviously we had all the fun of the fair in terms of all the transfer window, which we thought would be a damp squib, and turned out to be just that. Yeah, do you know? I thought I was, and I've had a bit more time to think about it and sort of look at. I watched it again, which is very unusual for me to watch the game again, but I did as well. I thought, you know what? Let's have a little look. Come my ratings. So that's what we do. We usually do it on a Monday, but I thought, you know what? It's a Friday. Friday game is a bit weird, so I thought we'd do it tonight. Why not? Why the bloody hell not? So we'll go through that. Top 4 unbeaten. Stop the season now. Stop the count, as Chris Skull said to me yesterday. Dugout, hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you. Would have liked to have seen a bit more of Kudus, to be H. No, I think we will. I think we will see more of him. Obviously, I think yesterday was always going to be a Moyes war of attrition, a bit like sort of the Brighton game, wasn't it? And I mean, look how Brighton turned over the Newcastle today, really, didn't they? I didn't see that one coming. There we go. When you see Brighton tear Newcastle box, that make our win last week even more special. I think you're right, it does. Good evening to you, Ray. Hope you're well. Zuma and Bowen celebrations to the fans were an 11 out of 10. Does Kudos start next game? Well, obviously we've got international break now. Not till, and it'll be the Man United game will be the next one. Man City rather. So it'll be a top of the table clash, won't it? Really? Top 4 clash at the London Stadium. So we'll see. I mean, there's an interesting thing. Kudus is playing. I think he got called up to the Ghanaian squad. He should have been. And they will be playing a game on the 7th of September, which will determine whether they go and qualify for the AFCONs. And that will have a huge, obviously, impact on us in January. The AFCONs with the likes of him, if they qualify, Ben Rama, Cornet, Agad, they'll all be going to the African Cup of Nations, where they should all be. So that will make us a little bit hamstrung. We'll cover it at centre back, not a problem. But that left hand side's completely gone, isn't it? In 4 hours, I'd imagine we'll be playing, which much to his annoyance in that position. Still Ryder, Antonio, and Ings are our main strikers. Well, Steve, we're stuck with it until January, aren't we? Evening, Matt. Hope you have. This could be a top 3 points. We'll pick up. This could be a top 3 points. Luton will pick up points at home. No one will want to go there. You're totally right. When we had Dave from When the Town podcast on, he was saying that, he has little hope of getting any points really anywhere else, to be fair, apart from at Kenilworth Road. And no one's going to like going there. No one's going to like going there at all. And so, can you imagine the likes of Haaland and Salah and people like that there? That's the only chance they've got of picking up points. And as he said, he goes, as long as we're not adrift by January, there's money there to invest if need to. They haven't overspent. And what we're going to be doing is probably tomorrow, if not Monday, I'm going to do my review of the transfer window. You know, who won the window, who lost the window, that type of thing, like I did last time. And they haven't overspent. And there's lots of possibilities for them to bring in players. And I hope so, because it's nice. Because actually, you know, I know we take the piss. You know, you're over here for the season or whatnot, and we can see you in the bath as people are going through the stands to go up to there at the away end. But it's nice to see different teams, isn't it? It's nice to see different teams in the Premier League. It's nice to see the likes of Luton Town. I'd hate them, but it's nice to see Sheffield United in there. It's nice to see, you know, when Leeds were in there, it's nice to see them there, and it's good to see Burnley. I like to see different sides, because otherwise it gets really boring. And that was one of the things what I loved about the being relegated in a weird way was going to play loads of different teams you've never heard of, or teams you've heard of but never seen them play, and going to different grounds and things like that. And that's what it's all about. Pray Haaland gets injured somehow. Well, he might get injured in international duty, maybe in Norway. With no striker signings, I'd say Kudus will be playing up front. I think he will be. I think he'll be playing as a false nine, or maybe Bowen goes up front and Kudus goes onto the right hand side. Core, imagine if we turn over City. It'd be scary to think of what could happen. Could you imagine? We're going to win the league. Please let Everton go down this year. Please, this year. It's got to be that year. Kudus can play as a striker backup. No problem. I think we will have money to buy Mountson in January. Wants to come to us. Whether we need him in January, Ken, I think personally, doesn't he enter his last? I think he hasn't signed a new deal with Chelsea, so I think he's in his last year of contract. So I'd probably wait out until the summer. To me, I think summer's the priority for the fullbacks. You know, bringing in two real good, young, hungry fullbacks is what we need next summer. I think that's a priority next summer, and a striker. And a reserve team goalkeeper as well. Do you think Alvarez would have cost 75 million if he was English? At least 50, 60 million, wouldn't he? At least. Will Prowse easy, best player easy, says Jay. We'll wait and see. Donkey Antonio, play up front, play Bowen up front. Thing is, you haven't got the physical for all Antonio's annoyances. For me, when he's on it, no one can compete with him physically, and he was battering those forwards, those centre halves, weren't he? Felt sorry for Reece Burke sometimes. I thought he played quite well, but quite often he was getting battered by Antonio. Martin's last year of his contract, yeah. So I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why Burnley didn't want to pay £31 million, after, because they get him for free in the summer. Surely, I don't know. Alvarez is going to be great, says Ian. Yeah, I bloody well hope so. So let's start. Let's do a few. We do our ratings rather, and then we'll have a chat afterwards and see how long we go with it. See how long we go before I fall asleep. So let's start off with Mr. Areola in goal. It's his position now. He has got the jersey. Let's be honest. A strange game from I thought yesterday. I was very impressed with the Brighton game particularly. Thought he was fantastic then. It was a slightly strange. Before you start in talks, no half points. There's no half points in this game. A slightly strange game I thought for him this week. There was some times where I thought he was a little bit shakier than usual. Particularly there was a cross which he fumbled. But then he came out and claimed. I mean, the fact is, you know what you can get with Luton. They've got two big lads up front, and I personally, I don't think despite the fact being so tall, he doesn't command the area as much as I like him to. I'll be honest. I think he's quite an imposing person. But when you come up against a big physical centre forward, he doesn't seem to do as well. Great shot stopper, no denying that at all. Yeah, just sometimes the basics a little bit worrying, but obviously called up to the French squad, so that's fantastic for him. Let's see what we got. We've got an 8, 6.5, no half points. You're taking the piss now. Tits, 6. 6, we need young wing backs with pace. We do, fair enough. 6 then. AREOLA, the flapper. 5 doesn't command it. Yeah, I agree, Ken. I don't think he does. I don't think he commands it, particularly physically how big he is. I think actually I think Fabianski commands his box better than him. And it's a couple of times. There was another one in the second half. The ball went over the top, and AREOLA just didn't do nothing. And Zuma didn't do nothing, and then the Gerd sort of like went, and they almost got in at the end. And yeah, he needs to claim the area a lot better. I think he does. The Luton forwards were getting away with all sorts of stuff at corners. 7, shame we conceded. Direct playing teams will always test goalkeepers. They do, and I think with a direct, I personally, for me, I think Fabianski is a safer pair of hands when it's a direct one. It's not saying he's a good. Not saying he won't. He won't do that because obviously AREOLA is number 1. Good night, massive fans. Question: what position do you think Moyes will play? Kudus and Dinos. Dinos centre half, and Kudus will probably. I think he'll be right wing and push Bowen up front. He should be screaming as well. Sometimes he can see everything. Yeah, tell you, John. I'm only going to tell you once. No half points in this game. Russie B, boom, 6 for me. I reckon it's probably his worst game this season for us. I think it's fair enough to say. Let's talk about Soufal. I feel sorry for Soufal. I feel sorry for him. I thought Chelsea he had a really poor game. I thought both fullbacks had quite a poor game against Chelsea. Then Brighton again, I thought he didn't have a very good game. And I thought yesterday he didn't have a good game either. And I think people and teams are targeting him. They're putting fast wingers on him. And I think they're targeting. There's a few times he let the ball bypass him, and he allowed Adebayor a shot on goal, I remember, and hasn't got the pace to get back enough. Yep, you're totally right. He never gives up. You're totally right. He never gives up. But I think it would be not as bad, but it's slightly reminiscent for me of Zabaleta. Towards the end of his time at West Ham, he was not very good. And I'm not saying Soufal's not very good, but you can see legs are starting to get to him in terms of pace. And I mean, I can hardly speak, I know, but that's when it surprises me that we didn't get a fullback in, a right fullback, because I just think that it's catching up with him a little bit now, in my eyes. But that's just me. I'm not even going to talk about that. Well, you've been in this position before, top 4, and an international break, indeed. Approaching and then downhill. Watch this space. Once City ruin our shit defense. Unbelievable. What are we talking about? Sorry, someone just sent me something. What's that? Oh, 7, 6. We got 7, 6, 5 has no pace. Why can't we keep a clean sheet? Yep, we haven't. And to be honest, we should have kept a clean sheet yesterday. Sorry, came in late. 5, no problems. Did you see Skamaka scored a brace? He did indeed. 6, and he will score goals. He will score goals, no problem at all. 6. Soufal's defender, but expects to get forward. He can't cross the ball. And I think nowadays, Kent, there's not a real place for a defensive right back, if that makes sense. Every fullback now has to be attack minded, and I think he's. Well, I think this will be his last season. I reckon. 5. I think Dinos can play left back. He can actually play right back. So we'll see. Struggled at times. Yep. I mean, there's no denying the fact that he puts his heart on the line. He doesn't stop. I gave him. What did I give him? There we go. I gave him a 5, and it hurt me to give him a 5. But that Giles for Luton was literally everything going down the our right hand side. So much so that Bowen had to double up on him. And obviously, he carries on trying, he carries on going. There's no denying that. But yeah, let's talk about Kurt Zouma, the captain. Oh, illustrious. I know it hurts me to give a 5, but I play it as I see it. Let's play Dino at right back. He did indeed, and actually the club did a training session video, and he was playing right back. So here we go. Maybe you never know. Every fullback has to be converted winger like Aaron Brandback. It's just the way it is now. It's the modern day, isn't it, Ken? Zuma, I thought, was safe, steady. He loves, where I think again, sort of, when he's up against a physical forward, he doesn't perform as well. Zuma's the total opposite. When Zuma's up, Zuma loves playing against a big physical centre forward, and I thought he was exceptional yesterday. Absolutely exceptional. I think he's been exceptional this season. I think he's been brilliant. Maybe the extra responsibility of being captain has made him like really, really, really. He's just gone to another level, I think, this year in terms of maturity in his performance. I think he's been brilliant. 9. We're not quite at Paqueta yet, but we'll get there. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 8. Love that game. Proper physical. I thought it makes a good captain. 8, 9, 8. 9 for the tourist cat lover. The skipper is a leader of men. 8 says Peter. I'm along the same lines. I gave him an 8 and my man of the match. I thought he was my man of the match because he was just a man mountain. Absolute man mountain. And you said, you're right, considering he's playing with only one knee, that's very important. Real captain's performance. 999. No. As the Germans would say, very good, Jonathan. Very good. Well done. Let's talk about his partner again. Obviously back in the side after being suspended for getting sent off for the Brighton game. No, not for the Brighton game, for the previous game that Chelsea. So I got so confused with my games. Obviously, he comes back in. Ogbono was obviously playing for the Brighton game, and he came back in, which a lot of people had assumed. I mean, it wasn't his best game. It wasn't his best game for us. Again, as I said, where someone like Zuma, when it comes to that physical battle, loves it. Again, not so much. And Adebayo literally knew that. It's clear he knew that because he spent most of his time on Aged's shoulder. And a little bit nervy. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't a great, it was okay. It wasn't a great performance, I think, for him. 6, Adebayo bullied him physically. 6, James, not even going to talk about that point because no half points in this game. 7, 6, got the wrong side a few times. I'd say Aged was a 7, was 1,000 times better on the ball than Zuma and can make it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's what you get with Aged, don't you? You get that sort of cultured passing where Zoo is more of a hoofer. And it works, doesn't it? 7, some dodgy moments. 7, Mark, wait till we get to the player and then say the score. 6, he does get a bit sloppy. 2-2-2 puts in the tackle, blocks with his knees. 2-2-2 puts in the tackle. Okay, very good score. I have no idea what you mean now. Have you had a night out or something tonight? Aged, I put a 6. Wasn't his best game, and I love Aged, but it wasn't his best game. Let's talk about Emerson, shall we? Emerson, I thought it was a really good performance. Again, I think he's one who goes under the radar. He's a steady Eddies, but he was unlucky not to have scored. Obviously, the goal got called out. Antonio was marginally offside in the build-up. When he absolutely hoofed it in, he got booked. But I like Emerson. I really like him. He's one of the few players we signed last season. Not few players, but one of the players last season who we signed who just got on with it. The littlest amount of fuss. Just got into the side and has done really well. It's done really well, I think. We've got some nice 7s here. 7, 7, 7s. Doing well. Emerson 8, 7. I got 2-2-2. Push pineapples. It's an Aged song. Oh, Agadoo, do. Okay, I get you. 8, 7, loads of attacks. Yeah, I love the way he gets for. I love the way he plays as a left wing or even centre midfield. It was half the times yesterday as well. He's a great relationship with Benny and Paqueta as well. You're totally right. I think there's more to Remy this season. I totally agree. I love the way he comes forward. I love the way, he would have scored again, being in the box. Yeah, centre, left back in the position he was in to score that goal. I know he got chalked off, but still. 7. Mark, wait. I'm not going to talk about Fornas, actually. 7. Emerson would have been 8 because of somebody scored. Really found his form and looks a good player. He was worthy of a score of 8. He's won every competition, including Eurovision, I think. Yeah, he has indeed. 7, nearly an 8 going forward defensively. Not that great. He's got caught out. Sometimes I think he'll be better as a left wing back. He is a better left wing back than a better right wing back. And to be honest, Kent, you watched the game. I know you was there watching the game, and he, Alvarez dropped in, and I always played 3 at the back quite often. And I think when Mavropanos is back, I think they will go to a 3 at the back, and I think you'll see Emerson on the left wing back. Interesting about Soufal, because Soufal for me is a better right back than he is a right wing back. So wasn't it Antonio was offside? Yeah, he was. Antonio was offside when led to the goal. You know what you're doing there, PCADs, don't you? You know what you're doing. Emerson, I've gone with a 7. I think 7's a fair score. I think he's been playing really well at the moment. I'm really happy with him. JWP, another 90 minutes under his belt. 3 assists, 1 goal in his first 3 games for West Ham. I don't mind if he keeps those stats. 4 goal involvements in 3 games. More than 1 a game. That's the maths for you. 1 1/3 a game. I wouldn't mind if those are his fixture, his numbers by the end of the season. We'd have had a pretty good season. Runs his socks off, doesn't he? Runs his socks off. Really like the way he plays. I think he's a really sort of team player. Always looking for the ball, always helping out the ball. Doesn't mind getting stuck in. Doesn't get stuck in as much as Alvarez, but that's not his game. Does a lot more running than I thought he did. In all honesty, we probably signed him. But hey, I said through the window, Russ, we need a right wing back, so there'd be the option of reading it with conventionals. Could be a real mistake. Yeah, I suppose you could even put Tila Kira in that position. He's done it before, and he did it. He started off doing it well in that position. 7, 8, 8, 7. Another solid performance. 8, 8. 7, 8, making a difference for sure. Struggled with the physical side. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Quietly went about his business. 8, game changer for this season. He's just a calming influence, isn't he? He really does just calm things down a bit. I was watching the Southampton game today, and Flynn obviously was playing, and they lost like 5-1 or whatever it was, 5-0 or whatever, Sunderland. And Flynn was like, he wasn't in good positions yet today at all. Whereas I watched JWP yesterday on Friday. Yeah, today, Saturday, Friday. And he was always in an open position for a ball as the out ball. I think it was really good. 7, 7, 8. He was terrible today, but they all were terrible. I think Kira will balance us with Emerson. I totally agree. I gave JWP an 8. I just think he's going to get these. He's going to pick up these 8s all the time because he's just going to be so reliable. Let's talk about Alvarez. Obviously, another 90 minutes under his belt. And as me and Ant said the other day, considering that the lad is probably only 2 weeks into a pre-season, really, in all honesty, having had no pre-season this summer, it's going to be quite interesting to see what level he gets to. And he's definitely going to, I think he's going to be an absolute star for us this year, and hopefully for many years to come. I think a lot of clubs are looking at him going, "Fuck, we missed one here. We've missed one here." He likes Chelsea. You look at like United and all these guys who wanted a sort of defensive midfielder. He's come in and just slotted in. And for all that Moyes says about Premier League ready players, this guy hasn't had a single minute pre-season, and we signed him. And he's slotted in like he's just hit the ground running. And literally, Scott just said that. He's just here like he's hit the ground running without a blink of an eye. Sometimes I think he overstretches a little bit. What I like about it as well, he's always looking for a pass. He's not looking for hoofball. He will, and the best players, when they get the ball, the game just slows down. Do you know what I mean? He had the ball several times, particularly like on his in just outside of the area on our area, and the game just stopped. And he looked, and he just played the right ball. And actually, in terms of the first goal, that was all him. Breaking forward, 1-2s, 1-2s, give it to Paqueta over the top, Bowen header, absolutely great game. What we got here? 7 JDPs, range of passes, magnificent switches to play. Yeah, and they did quite a lot of, because we were doing a lot of left and right, all the way left, all the way right, all the way left, all the way right. But yeah, and it was good. 8. I think we have a problem with Kudus. If we stick 4, he doesn't fit him. We'll figure it out. 8. He was your man of the match. I'm not even going to say that because it's half point. 8, 9, 8, 9. A few more matches. Top player, what a decent signing. Another 8. Can't clear a ball. Came in, hit the ground running. Man of the match for Peter. 8. Colt following. 8. 8. Hold the 2 blocks together. Read the game. Magnificent. Can play as well as not just a blocker. I totally agree. 8. Work on off the ball. Immaculate. Wants to score indeed. 9. It's going to be a good thing when he scores, isn't he? He's going to be like, everyone's going to be really happy for him when he scores. I mean, he had that shot in the first half that was charged down where he literally just wellied it. Didn't give a shit where it went, but he just hit it as hard as he could. Solid 8, 100%. Going to be even better going forward. I'm sure Edison could also play centre half. Well, to be honest, for all that game beats, he was playing centre half. He almost playing so deep, he dropped in and played as sort of a sweeper, really. Yeah, he can play centre half. He has played centre half in his career as well. I gave him an 8 as well. For him and JWP were really good at midfield, and so much so that they were bypassing the midfield and going, as they would do, Luton, with 2 big lads up front and just going straight up front, really. Right, let's talk. Who we talk about next? Let's talk about Lucas Paqueta. There's no one better than Lucas Paqueta, who's our Brazilian Magnifico. When you look at some of the idiots in terms of the transfer window who don't get their move and they down tools and they go on strike, like the Eintracht Frankfurt centre forward Colo Morene, and people like that, and try and force their way like Amrabat did. He forced his way to Man United, refused to train for Fiorentina. This man has been an absolute revelation in terms of that. Do you know what I mean? He's been fantastic. He's not only has he had all this stuff, he's had all the stuff with the betting scandal. He's had the Man City bid that went in and came out, and he's probably been playing his best football for us. And what I love about him is it's those fast passes, like where he bypasses the midfield. And I said it yesterday, bypasses the midfield straight into Antonio in terms of Antonio's path of running. And he said his little relationship with Benrahma and Emerson, I can't wait to see what he's going to be like with Kudus in terms of the runs Kudus makes and just dinking them over the top. The assist to Bowen, right? Everyone thought he was going to go to Emerson, but he just stopped, dinked a beautiful ball over the top for Bowen. It was an absolute great goal for him. Cresswell indeed, exactly same thing. That shot made me slap indeed. Great attitude. 9-12, impressive. 9-8, 9-8, magic. 8. It took Amrabat all fucking summer to get that deal, and he did it. 9, top tier. Those passes are to die for. 12, he's good on the ball. Gives everything for the badge. 8. Had my doubts about Alvarez playing for Ajax. Seems like a decent guy. 9. He sees the game from a different perspective. Pac-Man, so much class, so much panache, and that's what I was saying to me and Irish Tommy was saying yesterday. It's that swagger. I love a player with swagger, and he's got the skills to back it up. He's got the skills to back up what he's saying. And it's just that, and again, I mentioned, I mentioned Di Canio in passing, and Di Canio had that swagger. You give him the ball and he's like, he rolls it on it, or get pulled down, and that's what you get. And he's a top, and we all knew that was going to happen. We have a decent pre-season under him. We're going to see a hell of a player this year, because also, his contract, his minimum release clause is up at next summer. So 85 million quid, absolutely fucking steal for a player like him, particularly if he carries on playing the way he's playing. And he won't be Man City after him. You'll have Barcelona, Real Madrid, you'll have the top, you'll have 3 or 4 top teams, mate. We probably won't see him after this season at West Ham, but you never know, do you? You never know. Paqueta's a 9. The only downside is he plays for a foul too much, but then you've got JWP to put the crosses in. Game looked quite frustrating, but assisted and caused them issues. Indeed, he's world class. We will miss him more than 41. You're probably right. How many assists will he get at Man City? Well, yeah, indeed. Angel with a dirty face. Nice. Do we have a Latin contingency? We have quite a few, I think, haven't we? We've got quite a few Brazilian fans now. He showed determination celebrations that really showed how much he cares. That midfielder's vibes of the Brooklyn Pattern and Bonds partnership from my younger days. Oh, very good. Great. Grass them up some. Very good. Reminds me of Zidane. Effortless. Great way. Paqueta can only get better. Very good. Paqueta can only get better. Things can only get Paqueta. He was at 50% last season. And we'll see how good he is. The only question Paqueta for me is that he's that terrible goatee. Indeed. For me, I thought it was an 8. I thought an 8 for him. Very, very strong game again for Lucas. And obviously he's not picked for Brazil, so he can have a bit of a rest and be all ready for Man City and show them what they're missing. Let's talk about Bowen. I think Bowen is I thought he had a really poor game yesterday. Like, not poor, but it was in and out. He was in and out of the game. Where someone Paqueta was throughout the game was involved. Bowen was in and out, and obviously scored. And obviously everyone will look at that. It's great. But I fired Bowen up. It's like, with Kudus coming in now, he realistically could take his place. He won't, but he could. I thought, I don't know what I thought. It wasn't one of his, like, I don't know. I wasn't sort of like, oh my God, Bowen's on fire. I didn't think he was at his best yesterday. And there was a real opportunity to have gone, fuck you, Gareth, and had like an absolute stormer of a game. And he didn't. And I think the Fulham, the Luton centre halves were sort of a little bit touch tight to him. I know he scored, but that was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit harsh, probably. People say Lucas wastes passes, but when you try and play effective, you're gonna. No, I totally agree. It's like that was the thing with Ben Rama, wasn't it? Ben Rama, everyone criticised the fact that he would lose the ball quite a lot, and it's because he was the only one fucking trying anything. 7 always tries. At best, better goalkeeper would have saved the header. Most of the attacks came down the left, though. We do overburden that left hand side, don't we? We do. I think they had a stat halfway through the first or second half, and it was like 51% of our attacks were coming down the left, and like 30 in the middle and 20 on the right hand side. We do a lot. That's because Emerson's more forward thinking in terms of a left back, in terms of a fullback, whereas Soufal isn't. So naturally, the game progresses quicker down the left hand side than it does. Also, because you've got a Gerd on the left hand side as well. So a Gerd is more of a ball passer, whereas Zuma's a hoofer. So it's like on the right-hand side, you've got Zuma and Soufal, who are both hoofers and not necessarily forward-thinking. On the other side, you've got Emerson, who bombs forward more like a left wing than a left back. And then you've got Gerd. That's naturally why we do it. Because he scored courtesy of the keeper, a bit of a bully. Got bullied out. Apart from the goal, he was poor. I think he was. There's a moment in every game that people say, you could visibly see piss take mode. Once it's engaged, there's no stopping him. Bowen's been good, but not world class. 8, still on fire. Why was Paqueta left out of the Brazilian squad? I think it was because of the allegations. 8, 7. Fulham fans got to him 6, 8 for Bowen. Emerson, Paqueta have a great partnership. They do. 8. Are the twins? Maybe they had a bad night's sleep. You don't know, do you? I gave him a 7. Jared got 9, who played magnificent and under huge provocation. He kicked his head and quietly down for goal in the performance. 5 Finn, no half points. Doesn't seem a happy hammer, and that's showing in his performances. No, I think he does. I just think he was always happens when he plays well is he gets fat. He's like the defense. Then remember about Bowen, and then they sort of are touch tight to him. And I think he's better when he's got the ball. He's not. I don't think he's the greatest with his ball backs. He's backs the game, backs the goal rather. He's a lot better when he's forward front, forward and running towards players. Just like Antonio was as well, to be honest. Who is next? Let's talk about Antonio. Actually, I thought he again. There's no denying his efforts. He tries. There was some good hold-up play. There were some times where he was manhandling the centre halves, but wasn't probably his poorest game. I think for this season for us. I thought he's played well against Chelsea, but well against Brighton, played okay against Bournemouth. But I think this is probably his worst game for us this season. But he's only played 4, and it might be a fitness thing, maybe now. There's a lot of, there's a lot of him. So it does take its toll. But I mean, when we come back from the international break, I think we got like 4 games in 10 days. So he's not going to be playing all 4 of those games. So yeah, it was a good game. It was okay. We've got 7, 7, 6, 6, loads of effort. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, it's his effort. You can't fault his effort. Got no service and looked great. 6, 6 average performance. Tough one. This wasn't great. Mickey more suits the counter attacks and not much he could do versus Luton. 6 kept centre half honest and created space for others. This was a perfect game last night, says Kent. 6, 7, 6, 6, 7. Shielded the centre half from Bowen for the first. Yeah, good point, actually. 7, 6s and 7s. I gave Mickey a 6. And lastly, we won't talk about Fornals as much. We'll talk about Benny, and then we'll just, I'll give you my thoughts about Fornals afterwards. Benny, again, like, first half, he was, everything was kind of, I mean, he had so much ball. And it frustrates me with him. I think there comes to a point where, this is, as I said, I've said this before, he's 28 now. For me, this is it. He ain't going to get any better. All he's going to do is just hope. Maybe it's the consistency I want from him now. This is what you got. This is peak Benny. But because for the last 3 years now, we've wanted him to be more consistent. Come on, and he hasn't been. There's no denying he was probably our most active attacker yesterday. Everything was coming down him. Everything's coming down the left-hand side, as it always does. Which is why I would like someone like Kudus, even fucking put Bowen left-hand side, just to see what they could do on the left-hand side, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, he's just don't do it. Drives me insane, so wasteful. 6, falls at the final hurdle too much, so frustrating. 5, 8, lost the ball a lot. 6, 5, 6, no end product. 6, 5 is wasteful. Benrahma. 6, 5 for Benny, lacks the final product. 7, lost the ball too much, and there's no end product, but he mugs the defenders so much. It's great. Yeah, I mean, he knows when Emerson's around him, and he knows when Paqueta's going to dink it into him. So, yeah. 6, Moyes has ruined Benrahma. Epic, I don't think he has. I think Benrahma is at peak, and I just think he's been ruined because actually Moyes has given him, he gave him. I mean, the first 2 seasons he wasn't playing him, and then he's playing him, and even when he's playing shit, he's still playing him. So that's exactly it. He's a hit and miss player. It's about like Antonio. When Antonio plays well, the team play well. And that may be seen with Benny as well. When Benny's playing well, the team are usually playing well, and they can afford a little bit more of the ball being lost because he's trying things. I don't think it's poor coaching. I think he's wasteful. He's always been wasteful. Even at Brentford, he was wasteful. But at Brentford, don't forget he was playing. He was in Championship, wasn't he? Benny, 5, wasteful, a lot of opportunities. Doesn't take them the opportunity he has. He should have 15 assists minimum. Yeah, I totally agree, Kemp. Wasted so many chances. He's a 5. Anyway, my happy family, got to go. Take care, mate. Hope you're well. Happy Amaret. If the right bid came in, I would have sold Benny in the window. Yeah, I would have if we'd had a replacement like in 5. Poor. We ain't going to bad. Still winning. We ain't doing too bad. You're totally right. Sometimes tries to cut in and score a long goal. Miserable sales over the bar. It's given him enough chances. He's an impact sub at best. I gave Benny a 6. I thought it was quite generous. I thought Fornals came on, played okay as well. His burst of energy. No more than a 6, really, because it was like, he didn't really get into the game. He had 20 minutes left of the game. And that was it, really. As I said, I thought it was one of those games where it was probably our worst. I reckon it was probably our worst performance on paper this season. And we came out for a win. And that to me is the mark of a good side, and that to me is the mark of a championship winning side. No, a good side, and that again reminiscent of sort of particularly lockdown West Ham, when I remember getting into the car on my own because there was no other fucker there apart from me, thinking, how the fuck we won that game? How have we won that game? And it's very similar, and look, I know and we said it yesterday, I know it's not the most exciting game, I know it's not the most exciting football, but it is effective. And at the moment, when in a Premier League where it's all about overlapping fullbacks and yada yada yada, Moyes has gone back to basics. He's gone back to more of a more of a counter-attacking, like blocking style, and it's working. And while it carries on working, let's carry on winning, mate. Winning when Paul is a sign of champions. Teams will have to work out playing on a lot smaller pitch. Would like to see Kudos. Yeah, I don't think he's going to see. I don't think we was going to see him on yesterday at all. Yeah, it would have been nice too because he was bang on form, and so for me it would have been great to have seen him play. But I didn't assume we were going to have him on because it was Luton, and it's one of those. It was a nasty game to go to. In all honesty, you didn't know what he was going to be up. We knew he was going to be up against, but it was one of those games where it was a potential banana skin, as we said, and it was a banana skin we managed to avoid. West Ham of old would have easily lost that game. And we did. You remember? It reminded me a lot of the Nottingham Forest game last season, where Nottingham Forest, obviously their first game at City Ground, he should not be named, the number 47. He missed a penalty, didn't he? We lost 1-0, and it's a different side now. It's a different side now, and I wonder if it's a different side because of 41 not being there. And sometimes you don't think of it. Sometimes, you are blinkered. There's no denying what a fantastic player number 41 was, or is. He hasn't, but for me, it was just, we just seemed so much more of a team. It seems people are taking responsibility for stuff. It's not just one person. Everyone seems to be having, having a good go and just working together. You're on the money, Russ. We are winning, even we're not playing so well. On yesterday's points, we would have won that 12 we would have won that 12 months ago. We would have buckled under pressure. I totally agree. We would have buckled totally under pressure. It's a real West Ham thing, isn't it? And I remember talking to Dave from the Luton Town podcast, and basically he was like saying, I'm really worried, West Ham are really good, and and I was thinking, mate, you don't know West Ham, mate. You do not know West Ham. This is a prime West Ham game, where we would be really, really fucking poor, and we'd have just not given up, but it would have just been a real shit show. But hey, we got the 3 points. Didn't we? We have the same trademark as Leicester City. That's not counting chickens just yet. Benny go to Saudi. But I don't think we'll, mate, because we haven't got any replacements for him, and we can't afford to lose players. No, we can't just afford to lose them. So I can't see that happening, mate. Not saying I wouldn't. No, I don't think so. Russ is a chemistry because it's different because we have a chemistry. We have a team that always are going to be on the right off. Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Totally agree. I think it's, as I said, we've had a situation now where we had where I was obviously doing my job at West Ham. I see players and they just look like a total different side. Total different side. And it's great to see. It's great to see. So yeah, no, I'm really excited about what we can do actually, because I think there's a real opportunity to do something together. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. Are you picking the squares? Oh, do you know what? I now sort of like just yeah, look at me, I'm so clever. No, yeah, I don't know why I picked it up. I just I can't be able to put it down. The word for me, Russ, not Ross. We are not closed off. I totally agree. Yeah, that'll be it today, I think. Yeah, why not? Unless there's anything else anyone wants to talk about. Anything else? Anything else anyone wants to talk about? No? Talk to me. If anyone wants to talk about anything, I am all ears. I'm all ears. All ears to talk to you. So just let me know if you want me to talk about anything, and I'll talk about it. Because why not? Why not? How crap is the Forest? Is the first break 4 games in? Yeah, it always is though. Happy Amaret, always is, mate. We have it every year, don't we? Every year. So yeah, it is momentum. We'll be looking. How are we looking? How will we be looking? Jesse Lingard comes in. He's not. So he doesn't have to sign yet. I think he will sign next week or so. I think he'll sign during the international break. Yeah, and there's a space for him in the squad. We've got 24-man squad, haven't we? And we've got it's 25-man squad. We've got 24 players. So he comes in, he improves our homegrown as well. Takes over from Happy Amaret's favourite Lanzini in that role, and I think it'd be really useful. And as I said, I think if we got Lingard, if he can do 60% of what he did before, heavily subsidized, based on wages, based on what's it called, performance. For me, that'd be great. Be happy, enjoy the road. I am happy, mate. 3 goals, 1 assist. Bowen, 3 goals, 1 assist. Prowse, indeed. I don't think Lingard will be a success as Finfin. I think he knows he's fucked up. I think he does. And it seems he's trying to do all the things to try and make amends. Does anyone want to buy my Moors out banner? What do you think of Agard playing left back as cover? Just an idea. Don't fancy Crest. Not going to happen, Dave. Not going to happen, because that would assume you have to play Ugbonna on the left of the back 2 in order to because he's left-footed. And when you play players, I mean, Agard shit his games last year, but when he was forced to play on the right-hand side of it, Ugbonna playing the left-hand side. So no, not for me, mate. Not for me, buddy. As I said, we'll be keeping an eye on all the international stuff during the international break, and also keeping an eye on how Ghana get on, because that'll be quite interesting. And yeah, might have a few cheeky interviews happening in the next couple of weeks with some ex-players. So ones we haven't had on the channel, and we might get some of the old ones back if we haven't had on the channel. Again, has looked a little less class recently. Zoo's the nuts, taking that captain role like a pro. You're totally right. He didn't want to come to us when we asked him to come. Now he wants to. Now he doesn't have a club. He's running back to Moyes. Well, Moyes invited him back, by all accounts. And I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's a case of it was his last move. He wanted to get some money, and it didn't work. So he knows he hasn't worked. So there we go. Jesse will be class. Do not doubt him. I don't doubt him, Gavin, at all. I think he'll be a class. When we get him, and he'll be, he'll get a few assists, and we'll be like, there we go. He'll be like, people will be like backing for Lingard again. We are going into games with a chance of winning many games this year. Hopefully, as long as we get to 10 points on the board already after 4 games. We are a quarter of the way through of staying up. So that'll do for me. I hope I'm proving wrong. Me too. Me too. Edison's going to be worth double what he is by the end of the season. Watch. Totally agree, Ugly Moy. And that's the whole idea of what we do in it. That's the whole idea of what Tim does. Buy a player for 35 million. He's £70 million player by the end of the year. If anyone thinks Jesse made a mistake, he got 10 million. I wish I made a mistake like Wingard, indeed. Anyway, but if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Maybe become a channel member as well. Maybe on Monday, probably. Yeah, Monday we'll do our September draw for some signed West Ham memorabilia. And hopefully the recent winners will have their stuff in the next day or so, or on Monday. Because I managed to send it all out. So well done me. Pat on the back. God damn us. And yeah, have a nice Sunday evening or Saturday evening, rest of what's left. And West Ham need to sign Tim Krul. We're a bit late because he's already gone to Luton Town. How long did it take us to get 10 points last season? Good point, Happy Emirates. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Last year, let's have a quick butcher's hook. Last year, we got 3 points. No. Brighton, no. Let's have a look. Villa, we got our first points were Villa. Why am I screaming like that? Our first points were, I can't see very well. Our first points were Villa away. We won 1-0. Then we beat Spurs. So we have 4 points. Then we lost to Everton. Then Wolves. So 7 points. And then Fulham. So actually, last time we had 10 points. This time last year was in October. We had 10 points. So there we go. I've just done the maths. We're going to be feared like won't like playing it. So you're totally right. Like as you leave, indeed. Don't forget, fair play to them. 9 games. Yeah, it needs 9 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the Fulham game. Yeah. So not bad. So already 5 games ahead of where we were last year. So maybe by the time we get up 15 points by then. Who knows? Anyway, guys, have a great rest of the evening. We'll be back later on and all that stuff. And take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay able. Keep the faith, my friends. Come on, you bloody irons. Bye.